Hello and welcome to Neverwinter. So after this, well, I have done the character creation such, and after this is a video to look around some options and all sorts of other things. And then afterwards I have also, well, I have done some combat with all the classes as well. So those videos are coming up. And I wanted to clarify something which I think I didn't I was not clear enough when I was doing those videos. I have done 2 of them, and I plan to do the 2 other classes still, which are available. But firstly, let me clarify that video talks, because in them I talk about keybinds and lack of them, like being unable to change them. And the issue I have is not the fact that there is indeed keybinds here, but this doesn't show in the system menu outside of, like, when you are not logged into the character, because at least I have not been able to find a way to copy your keybinds from one character to another. So far you can change keybinds. Why is this Joy 7 and not left mouse button? What? Left press. Anyways, you can change these, but if I change them from this character and then make a new one, I have to redo the whole set again for that character, and this to me is really silly, and it's something which I'm hoping they fix for the launch. Same basic thing with the mouse look sensitivity. That seemed to reset when jumping between characters. It's like the default, I think, is 1.4 or something like that. I keep playing between 0.6 and 0.9. Not sure which one I prefer yet, but I mean, I haven't played this. This is the first time I play this thing. And whatever. But this keybind thing, yeah, I keep talking about like being unable to change them, but that's because I wanted to show those classes and play them. I didn't want to first spend 15 minutes rearranging every freaking key, because that's what I normally do in games. Like, if this wasn't a beta, I would have done it. But this is a beta weekend, and this is the last day of the beta weekend, because, well, I couldn't play earlier because I had other commitments, so I am doing this in kind of a rush on the last day of the beta weekend. So this double tap roll, this I don't know, somehow on the classes which actually can roll, which this Guardian Fighter actually cannot do, the whole double tap thing does not, either I don't understand double tap or it's just not as responsive as I would hope it is. But let's talk about options, because that's what this video is about. Options and some stuff. There are your natural basic things here of like inverting and mouse look sensitivity and keybinds, which are, as I said already, character specific at this point in time. You have your audio settings, voice chat, in-game voice chat. This is kind of nice to have in games these days, even though majority of people who really want to use this stuff are obviously going to default to using something else, some third-party program. Then you have all this stuff, advanced video settings, which are down here, which I haven't messed around all too much. I have toyed a little to see what there are, what there is, and this is the settings I'm running here give me a very steady about 60 frames per second rate in most of the areas I have been playing on or in, so I have been keeping them at this. And obviously that's depending on your machine and what you're running. And then there is interface stuff like HUDs, like you can turn off all sorts of stuff, like life, like whether you see the health bar, name, titles, all sorts of things, which is really good that they are here. And then obviously a chat thing, date, time, channel name, system messages, and profanity filter, which I somehow have left on, but it doesn't really matter because I'm only doing short videos at the moment and I haven't really started to interact with people. But yeah, that's the general what you can find in the options. It's like, it's not bad, it's not lacking, but there are still some things which I would like extra in there, such as being able to, well, like just such as being able to have the same like keyboard setup for every character, and you can arrange your UI. This is something every game should have built in. So many games, MMORPGs, these still release without being able to move stuff around, and I can't figure out why this can't be that hard to implement. Being able to move stuff. Also, it seems this is also character specific, or then I have been blind or something, that whatever. But yeah, you can move stuff around, you can hide them. That's really good. It is something every MMORPG should have. Another nice thing about because this is an action game where you normally aim with your mouse like this. So there is obviously a button which allows you to go into. It defaults to Alt, which allows you to do all this mouse over and stuff. So another nice thing about this here, which is stable to most MMORPGs, which allows you to like open your home pages and character status and inventories and guild pages and all that. This actually shows you the key which is used to open it by default. This to me is kinda nice, eh? So yeah, there is indeed in-game market in this game, which uses all sorts of freaking stuff. You know, like there is in-game currency, and then there is astral diamonds, which are bought with hard cash. So yeah, keep that in mind. This is going to be a Neverwinter is going to be a free-to-play game, but there is going to be, I don't know if it's a pay-to-win options from what I have been able to see or look at, but there is going to be some sort of a cash shop, that's for certain. So yeah. Welcome to Neverwinter and whatever. Go away, thank you. Queue for party. There are, you know, there is a kind of nice, well, and there is calendar, which is really nice because you can do all your own reminders here. There is a queue system for PvPs and whatnot, which I obviously do not have access to yet. I'm level 4 on this character. There's a catalog. Foundry stuff, you know, Foundry is in existence. Foundry allows you to create custom content, quests, dungeons, that sort of stuff. It's still under development to see what all you can actually make with it, but that should at least increase the lifespan of the game a tremendous amount, because players can generate content for other players. To me, that is a really good feature, and it's, well, somehow it reminds me of the original Neverwinter Nights and such, so that is really good. And you do have this instanced content here. Dungeon skirmish level 8, dungeon level 16, all this sort of stuff, like daily quests, all these little things. And there's, yeah, you can see this like upcoming event stuff here for the like, well, this is for the beta weekend, which is right now going on, last day of the beta weekend. So yeah, these things, I have to say, so far the beta weekend is looking pretty polished already. Right, yeah, I'm not in a guild, but I was wondering if there is like an actually like, have this guild thing, whatnot. Character at handle? Cool. And this is the Zen market. where you can buy items. So yeah, that's Neverwinter itself and character pain. Let's talk quickly about characters before I conclude up. So you have this list of powers with paths, and when you achieve mastery, you will be able to choose a paragon path. Iron Vanguard is this one. What the heck? Yeah, more paragon path choices coming soon. Yeah, as I was thinking, there would be more than one path for you to take. Anyways, the powers you get while you're like leveling up, and it actually shows you them beforehand, what you get at what level, all that stuff, which is really nice. You have your class abilities and some general stuff. Shield Slam, going to get that eventually, and a stab possibly. So yeah, you have companions, which I have not been able to experiment with yet at all. Like, are they even implemented? I haven't had chance to play enough to find out if you get companions yet. And then there are feats which you can spend points on once you start, you know, like old school feat, like let's say this is a talent trees done in the feat way of like called feats, and they are like supposed to be talent trees, but it's basically just allows you to have a different sort of, well, feat. So you're going down doing the same stuff as a Guardian Fighter does, but having a slightly different way of doing it. That's your powers. And for the character, so far at least in the game, classes are restricted to a one type of weapon. Like this says blade weapon, and required class Guardian Fighter. So I cannot give a rusty old longsword to a devoted cleric. They cannot use it. I cannot give the longsword to a thief. They cannot use it. So that differs away a bit from what like D&D system works on, because there you have like feats. You can take feats to wear certain kinds of weapons, and we'll have to see if that is implemented into the game or not eventually, that you can actually, you know, either put in feats or some other way actually get access to weapons you were not able to use in the beginning. We shall see. The main problem I always have, if you have like a system where everyone can use like every weapon, all that sort of stuff, is that because this game is heavily based on dungeon crawling with your friends, or with a group, doesn't have to be friends, but with a team anyways, party play. When you have like everyone in the group able to use every weapon, you run into these issues where everyone wants to roll on every weapon, even if it's not better for them, even if it's not for their class, because or if it's like it does not necessarily have the best stats for them, but they are just going to roll for it simply because they can use it, and this is gonna create some strife between people always. So I kind of, in a games where you're supposed to do a lot of dungeon crawling or party play, I kind of like the restrictions that classes actually have only a couple weapon types they can use. But that's my personal preference and so forth. And this was a really quick look at some of the stuff within, well, Neverwinter, an upcoming free-to-play RPG, MMORPG, and as pointed out by the character creation video of mine, this is actually feels a bit more like an RPG than the MMO part, especially if we turn this breadcrumb trail off and we actually had to look where the thing is. Obviously it shows it still on the minimap. So that's something about the options, and I still wish, at least let me transfer them somehow if I want to, the keybinds from one character to another, and unless I have been really blind or something and this is indeed like character specific as well, let me like make one template and then transfer that over to every character of mine if I want to. That would be really nice. Those two things added in, this would be already a really enjoyable experience. Thank you very much for watching.